So kia ora, this presentation is about the principles of the Treaty of Waitangi according to the New Zealand Nursing Council framework. More information about the treaty can be found on the New Zealand Nursing Council website. So, just a little bit of background about the treaty and Nursing Council. As a regulatory body independent from the Crown, the Council has a responsibility to work with iwi and Māori to give effect and realise the promise of Te Tiriti o Waitangi. Achieving this will require time, flexibility, and the ability to self-reflect at both governing board level and internally as an organisation. With a specific focus on the nursing profession, the success as a council will be shaped by the ability and capacity to form a range of relationships with iwi and Māori, as well as key government agencies, Māori health providers, associations and other communities of interest. The Articles of Te Tiriti o Waitangi have been interpreted and expressed through a set of principles. The principles that the Nursing Council consider relevant to their work are premised on the most recent Waitangi Tribunal claim, which was the Health Services and Outcomes Inquiry. So the Waitangi Tribunal was set up by the New Zealand Government to address some of the issues that occurred from the colonisation processes that happened in New Zealand's history. So this is the enhanced set of principles that provide deeper clarity and guidance to New Zealand Nursing Council. So because New Zealand Nursing Council use it to set the competencies, the scope of practice for nurses, what sort of education you need to know, then this is also becomes part of you being competent to practice in your nursing. So the first principle of the Treaty of Waitangi is Tino Rangatiratanga, which is the principle of self-determination, which provides for Māori self-determination and mana motuhake. This requires the Council to work with partners in the design, delivery and monitoring of relevant statutory work. So in your practice, you must uphold the principle of Tino Rangatiratanga or self-determination to ensure that you're competent. Self-determination is about Māori being able to be self-determined in the choices that they make in their healthcare delivery and in the choices of services that are available for Māori. The next principle is partnership, which requires the council and you as a nurse and Māori or iwi to work with each other in strong, enduring relationships. So partnership isn't about power. You might hold more knowledge or a different type of knowledge than your patient, but the patient is a partner in the relationship, and so it must be an equal partnership. The next principle is equity. The principle of equity requires that the Council commit to achieving equitable health outcomes for Māori through its functions that it is responsible for. So as a nurse, you must always think about equity for Māori. We know that Māori have the poorest health outcomes out of everyone in Aotearoa, and so it is your responsibility to ensure that Māori have equity. Equity is based on what the person needs and it's not about treating everybody the same. It's by treating people according to what they need. And at the moment, and for a long time, Māori need equity in healthcare. The next principle is active protection. So the principle of active protection requires that the Council and you as a nurse be well informed on the extent and nature of both Māori health outcomes and efforts to achieve Māori health equity through culturally safe nursing standards and the practice of cultural safety. So in your nursing practice, to be competent, you will have to be aware of the culturally safe nursing standards, which are also included in this module, and how to practice culturally safe. Principle of options. This requires the council to ensure that all of its services are provided in a culturally appropriate way that recognises and supports the expression of te ao Māori models of care and nursing. So this principle of options can include using the whare tapawhā as an assessment model, and valuing Indigenous knowledge and having those options available for having Māori models of care available for Māori patients. We know that we work in a health system that is heavily westernized, and so part of our competency in upholding this principle of the treaty is that you will be able to provide Māori models of care in your nursing work. So meeting the obligations under the treaty make a small but significant contribution to improving the health outcomes of Māori. As Nursing Council and you as nurses carry out your role and responsibilities of the nursing profession, and as Nursing Council carries out its role and responsibilities as a regulatory authority, the public can expect to see the Te Tiriti o Waitangi influence our key responsibilities, which include these are the responsibilities of Nursing Council, to set the standards and competencies for registered nurses in all scopes of practice, and hence that is why if they are using these to set the standards of competency, then you must be competent and know these standards. They also provide accreditation and monitoring process for nursing education programs. They provide the registration processes for all scopes of practice, and they address conduct and competency issues to support nurses to be fit to practice. So Nursing Council sees that this work will be successful through the building of authentic partnerships with iwi. That's what I was talking about before, that our partnerships are not paternalistic. They are not about holding power or knowledge or holding more knowledge. It is a true partnership about sharing and respecting each other. Thanks for listening.